All right, YouTube, what's up? So, y'all know I've been doing this nitro thing for a minute. Uh, Time to switch it up. I'm getting ready to run my boats. That's one thing I do run LiPo on. Uh, you can see my Victor 70, Sonic Wake, and the Arrow. I had one of my subscribers ask me about upgrade parts due to the shafts in these. Um, Usually, if you grease your shaft um, properly all the way through. When you take it out, instead of just putting grease inside the shaft in the bolt, you'll have uh, a piece of the coil. It won't snap if you're greasing it properly. So I'm about to get into that real quick. Uh, he's running the Arrow. This is an Arrow that I got my wife. You have to excuse me, my dog is licking this tripod. So let's see. So on this particular boat, this is the stock shaft that comes in it. So this shaft isn't even soldered at the tip, which I was surprised. I never really looked at it until I took it out this weekend when he was asking me a couple questions about it. This is a kind of a small shaft compared to what I have inside my other boats. Um, it's probably the same stock shaft I had in my yellow Victor 70. So this boat actually snapped on me because it wasn't designed to handle 6S. It was a 3S boat. So I ended up changing this boat over to a 6S, 3S to 6S, which I can run both, which I'll pop that thing open here in a second. Instead of buying uh, the lube that they have for that boat, I let's see. This is what I use. Sorry about that. I use marine grease, multi-purpose, um, NLGI #2. So this has worked perfect for me. It lasts longer in the shaft, and you can tell if it's getting worn or not. Usually you can tell, just like when motor oil in the engine, it gets milky when you dump it on that. That's how you know you have a coolant leak. It'll get milky. This goddamn dog would not leave this tripod alone. All right, so sorry about that. So I had to get her on film. So what I did was I ended up stepping up to a 3/16 shaft on this Victor. Leave my tripod alone, dog. So a lot of you guys have seen this boat and the upgrades in it. So if you look at it, um, so this is a 3S adapter. So I run 3S in this. It's just a simple Y connector that you get from your hobby store. All right. Still haven't put my brand new dynamite in. If you guys watched some of my older videos, this shaft I just went through it, and as you can see, the stuffing tube is revealed on there. This was a stock strut holder right here. This was stock with the water cooler in it, and I went with a double on this. So let me see, let me pop this off real quick. So I went with a double on this. Double water pickup, and it's the biggest blade you can get from Offshore Electric. I mean, compared to this, look at that. It was like 90 millimeters long. So, and then I ended up getting a couple different things, which, while we on this boat right now, I hate to jump from the arrow to this, but this shaft is a 3/16 uh, shaft in here. So right off the coupler, I got lucky. I didn't have to change the stuffing tube because the stock stuffing tube had play in it, so I ended up running that in it. But I did have to change the coupler on this, and it came with a different mount. Double set screws off the engine. So the engine flat piece there goes right in there, and then I end up just redoing a lot of this. The inside of this boat has been sprayed with Flex Seal. I just got clear Flex Seal yesterday, but the black, because you can tell the quality of this boat. It's very light, but I wanted to deaden down some of the sound in it, and I mean add a little bit weight to the front. So I ended up pulling the foam out of the front of it and spraying it all the way through. And I also added an extra water outlet, which I have it written down here somewhere. There we go. What did that cost me? So we'll look at that. Blah, 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 blah. All right. So that's the double rudder pickup. You see the size. Large water outlet. Part number right there. $2.95. Rear rudder $24.99. I also upgraded the hoses on this thing. Springs around the corner, and I like these boats, man. You know, I want a nitro, but I had one that I was looking at, one of my co-workers had, and he said he doesn't run it. It's probably like a 55-inch Apache. I really wanted that thing, but you can't make somebody sell something they don't want to sell. You know what I mean? I like the guy and all. God damn it. There we go. Sorry about that. So let me get into some things here. All right. So on these boats, like this is a 3/16 shaft boat, and this is a 130. I went to, so if you step up to a 150, which that's what this is supposed to be, you know, but here's the sizes. I'll give it to you right here like this. All right. So there's your sizes. Cable size, electric motor shaft size. So a 150 cable, and then you have the shaft size. So I got you some numbers for your arrow. Okay, so on your arrow, the stock shaft is going to be, let's see, what is it? From tip to tip. So from tip to tip on this thing, we're at let's see, I think it's 8.5 inches on a stock arrow tip. This is a stock prop. Once you add some power to this thing, it's gonna blow to pieces. It's gonna blow to pieces. Which that's what happened when I went to 6S on the yellow boat. All my videos with that yellow boat, that boat is a lot faster now. I mean, I got it right. You know, you grease it and do it right. I've been lining them up too. So if it doesn't go directly into the engine, I mean straight off, which I'll show you real quick. So let me pull this thing one more again. See, we got you up there. There you go. Trail ride. 10-gallon 81. So as I stick the shaft in here, let me get myself out of the way here. So we'll do this. So here like that. There you go. So if you can see that, it goes directly straight into the hole. So that's proper fitment. If it was, if you had to if it was off a little bit, that could have bad run out. So in order for you to have longer battery life, the whole thing, it has to be able to go straight in, straight off the prop. All right, another thing off of this bolt. If you look down in the front of this bolt, something you have to change. If you look, let's see if we can lay that in there. You see that part right there? That white tab in the center? This tab that I'm pointing to right there, I'm laying it on. See that white tab? That's got to come out around your stuffing tube when you upgrade to a bigger shaft. When you go to a 150, which that's the part number, well, that's the size you want to go up on the cable. And then what I'm talking about on this side, see that part right here? So you're 6 inches here, and then you got the rest, from here, from the drive dog here, which you can change this part of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the bolt that's compatible with that same cable through Horizon and their upgrades. So I'm going to find an upgradable bolt, which might be the Shockwave or whatever, and I'll figure it out for you. Because that's pretty much what happened to this bolt. So that yellow bolt was an upgrade off of, I want to say it was Pro Boat. It was their red catamaran. God, what was it? Blackjack. Off of a Blackjack. So I saw that Blackjack had the same specs as that. Yeah, excuse me, I'm changing. So I end up upgrading that whole thing, the whole coupler. Took me a couple couplers to get it right. As you can see, 3 in here in this bag. A couple of them came from, Hobby Shop, but in Amazon, $2.99, $2.29. I mean, they're kind of cheap, but you want to go offshore electric and, tell them that shaft you got 8.5 inch. I'll have all those numbers for you. I do have a new part that I'm going to unbox here in a moment. I got to get something. So I end up buying these syringes that turn, and then I end up making one out of a diabetes syringe that goes right into the boat. So let me show you. So with this curved tip, I go right into it. Fits right in there. It's a curved tip. I end up cutting it off. I end up getting a pack of 5 or 6 for $3 off of Amazon. And then you just push it right into it. And the way you load it back up is take it off the bag, get you a sandwich bag, and fill it from the back, and then boom. You know what I mean? And then I made this one, which is on a fuel line or a water line. And that works as well, but not as good as this. So live and learn. And I've been taking Marvel Mystery Oil, and I've been putting Marvel Mystery Oil on the shaft and greasing it in with my fingers, trying to get it, full of liquid. So once I clean it, I keep cleaning it. I pull it out and I clean it. See how I left it marked? So I'll pull it again, spin it, you know, which you probably don't want this. You probably want my blue rags, shop towel rags. And then I take my Marvel Mystery Oil and I just, put it on my, you know, put it right there. I would prefer to have gloves and then just work it into the every groove of this. What happens and why people snap these is when you have the shaft in the boat and you don't have the spacing, the proper spacing you're supposed to have. So whatever size the shaft is, you take your micrometer and let me set this up. So you take the micrometer and you take a measurement. You go for 0, all right? So that's the measurement, and then I lock it with my finger. Boom. 310. I lock the wheel with the index finger. So 308, 309. She won't even release. That's the space I want when I put it in to the boat after I've greased it. And why I'm spinning it in after I've already greased it with the Lucas oil. I spin it like that. Spin it, spin it, spin it, spin it, going all the way up, all the way up. And I have a rag that I put inside of there to catch the residuals. So I have a rag inside because it's going to be overloaded. And when it gets to the tip where I'm getting ready to go to the locker, because you're putting a lubricant right before I get to the drive to the coupler here that drives the engine, because it will spin on you. I take a rag, clean it off, and I go get rubbing alcohol, and I clean off the tip before I even get it close to the coupler. But once I get to that point, I take my caliber, which is still locked on there, 310. See that? I take 310, and once I push it up, I have that same space in between the drive dog and this part of the tube. And that's how you stop from snapping your shaft. You know? You will not have a shaft snap on you with 3S. If you do that, you have to have it gapped here and lubed properly, and you won't even have to upgrade to a better shaft, It'll last a lot longer. See, what it does is this shaft, because it's sprung like this, when you wind it up, that's why when you pull the trigger, you see some shafts are straight shaft. When you're straight shaft, it's instant power, it's instant RPM, it's gone. This winds up, and like a rubber band, it winds itself up and shrinks, and it pulls against the metal. That's not going anywhere. So the first place it's going to give is somewhere up here in the front. Wherever you don't have that much lube at, it's going to snap somewhere in the center. It's going to snap. So that's how you prevent that. Like I said, brother, I appreciate you. And hopefully I can find the rest of those parts exact size for you on Offshore Electric. If you don't find it by the time I'm finished with this video, on this part, so I'm gonna skip right to the business. I've been waiting on this part for the Sonic Wake. And let's see, we're gonna open this sucker up. So we'll get this thing all set up. All right, and then we'll pop her open. See what we got. Offshore Electric. Yeah, this baby's spring assisted. Love it. All right, so bam, there she is. Adjustable strut. Adjustable strut and hardware. Going on a Sonic Wake. Let's see what we got in here. Bam. TFL adjustable strut. There it is. She going together tonight. Yep. So that's how you determine like how fast you want to go. If you're going for speed, you put the prop down deeper in the water. If you want to go for stability, you raise the prop up. So it goes from 10 degrees negative, 10 degrees positive. And it's a great piece of art. I mean, it's functional. I mean, and then the other great thing is it telescopes itself in, so it doesn't matter how long the shaft actually is. 73 to 83. That's 10 millimeters of play, so you can get it perfect. 3/16 shaft, boom. I can't wait. Yep, Paul Cooper. He had one. I don't know if it's the same one he has, but this is the difference between me being able to tune this platform. If you can watch some of my videos with this Sonic Wake, it becomes a hard beast to handle, man. She rocks, and then I've only had it like perfect on my speed runs, and she was holding 53 mile an hour. I'm thinking this boat is the one to watch out for. If I change up my dynamite, but I'm so comfortable with how it runs, and I'm gonna run, something different in it. Another tip too I've been doing is I've been putting dielectric gel filling inside the receiver, um, you know, and around the plugs. Uh, don't touch it if you don't have gloves, but it's filled, 100% filled. So um, I'm glad to be able to show you guys that. I got one more thing. Let's see. So, Miss Geico. Yeah. So she's a 17-inch Miss Geico, and it doesn't come clear coated. So when I had it sealed, it's got a magnet and it's got a piece in the front. Um, this thing is one of my videos, but I end up taking a Recoil 17 engine, and I end up going with a 1300 milliamp battery inside of it. Uh, and I took the water cooling system out of it. It doesn't come with one of these. Um, I can't wait to run this thing. She also has a little bit of that Flex Seal in it, something to protect it. It took a little bit of work. I notched out the top of this thing a little bit. But other than that, it sits in there perfect, because when you try to upgrade this boat, there's not that much room in it. So I took out a little bit out of the top of the hatch. Took the hatch a little bit and grind it down. You can barely see it, but right in the nose. But it will fit a Traxxas 110 SAT engine, which that's what I had in the beginning of it. But I put it in and it blows over. So I mean, really.